How's it going, everyone? I'm Immature Gamer. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Today we have a brand new video and we finally got a new device in creative. That's right, we got the matchmaking portal. Now, in this video, I'm going to be showing you guys how to use it, why this is pretty big in creative, and I'm also going to be showing you some more in-depth settings in matchmaking that not a lot of people know about. So let's get started.
Immature Gaming.
Real quick, before we get started, you guys please hit that like button. It really helps me out a lot. And if you want to see more content like this, then subscribe. Also, if you want to support me even further, you could use code Immature in the item shop. But if you don't use my code, use someone else's. All right, let's get started. All right, I know it's been a hot minute since we've got something in creative as far as devices. So this is pretty exciting. As you see, there is the matchmaking portal. Now, at the time of me recording this, I just found out that this actually wasn't rolled out to everyone just yet. They rolled it out to a limited amount of people for now, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't watch this video, and also you shouldn't remember this video, because if you don't have it yet, they're going to actually be rolling this out over time, and eventually everyone's going to have it. So you're going to want to know this knowledge. Now, before we get into how to use this device, let me explain what matchmaking is. Now, if you guys have been into any hub, you've seen the matchmaking area, and basically this is like a mini Fortnite server, right? Instead of 100 people, you know, you can load 2 to 16 players, 16 max, and kind of have your own map, right? And this allows matchmaking, allows you to join with other people and play. So this is pretty big. You can do a lot of cool things with matchmaking. I mean, and one of the coolest is you can make, you know, multiple maps, right? You can make a huge adventure map, and maybe you've got full memory or run out of devices, and guess what? You could have a matchmaking device and it could send you to your next map. So there's a lot of really cool features with matchmaking, and more than just being able to get a full lobby with playing, which obviously is very, very cool. All right, so the first thing you need to do to enable matchmaking on your map is you have to go into your menu under the game tab, and you're going to see matchmaking. See this little setting here? It's going to be default off. You need to turn this on. This is going to allow this map to have matchmaking. The second thing you need to do is you need to tell how many players can load into the map. Why this is important is the game is not going to start until auto start is set, or until the total amount of players that you have set here has entered in. So for instance, say you have a map with 16 players. If 16 players load in real quick, no problem, the game's gonna start. But if you don't have 16 players, it's gonna take a while. It's gonna go based on auto start here. You gotta think about that, especially if you have like 90 seconds and say there's only 3 people and they're just sitting in there for 90 seconds just to play. That's not good. So you gotta think about that in your maps. These settings no one is talking about, so you guys are hearing some of this stuff first. So after you've set your team size and you enabled your matchmaking, you can now set up your matchmaking device. Now you just go up to it and you interact. The first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna put in an island code that you want to matchmake into, as long as they have this matchmaking set to flexible teams. If you put that code in, it will work. Now, next thing, we have some visibility options. Let me show you what those mean. If you were to set island text visible, you're going to see your map title right up to the top left, and then set matchmaking text visible. Basically, it's just going to give you an indicator that this setting, flexible teams, is selected. Now, set island details visible. Let me start the game and show you what that looks like. So see how this little blue line placard faceplate basically that just popped up explaining you what the island is? That's what that is. If you have that enabled, it's gonna pop up and kind of tell players what your map's about, as long as you gave your map a description, right? It's actually more once you publish your map, this little description here is gonna show up. All right, next up is code override allowed. Now, what this means is it enables this little keypad, and it's just kind of like the riff in the main hub. If you have this enabled, someone is allowed to enter any code they want. And in my hub I've made, you'll notice that I've set that up here. So this is kind of like my normal matchmaking, and then I've enabled that setting here, so you're able to interact with it, and then you can put in any code. This is what it looks like. And then as long as they have that matchmaking enabled in their settings, you'll be able to queue into their map. And then you can disable these. It will actually disappear the whole matchmaking portal, which is pretty cool. But that's kind of it for the settings on this portal. We're not done yet, because this is something no one's talking about, no one's showing you. And that is the device that everyone has right now, and that is called the round setting device, okay? This device actually has some things to do with matchmaking. So if you go into the bottom here on this device, you're gonna see disable matchmaking round on end and disable matchmaking when receiving from a channel. Why this is important to know is depending on what type of map you have, you actually might want to disable matchmaking after a certain point in your map so nobody can get in. Now, for instance, in Skyfall Duo's quick team select map, at the start, the first round, basically people select their teams, right? And then it basically is set up to remember what teams they're on. So if someone spawns in later while the game starts, or actually spawns in on the next round, they're gonna spawn in here and they're gonna be able to select possibly another team, or it's just gonna break the game kinda. So this is a reason while sometimes you want to actually disable matchmaking at a certain point in the map, because it could potentially ruin the type of map you're making. I do want to make it clear that even though you've disabled matchmaking, it's only disabling matchmaking for that specific game. So it's not going to disable your map totally. Basically, thousands of people can be in 100 different matchmaking servers of your map, right? And it's just gonna, and the matchmaking portal that they're in playing for that current game, it'll just affect, right? That's why there's, you know, it tells you like after the first round, it will disable it. It's only in that game for that specific matchmaking. It's not gonna disable the matchmaking in general. So just remember that. All right, we're not done. There's even some more things you need to do in your map to make sure your map doesn't bug out or glitch out and it works properly. Obviously, the most important thing is you need spawn pads set. Kind of goes without saying, but not only that, you need to be mindful of how players are spawning in, maybe even after the game starts. So this is where a lot of issues happen I've seen in matchmaking maps. First off, there's some things you can do right off the bat. There's a setting here called join in progress, okay? And this is gonna tell the game what to do with players that are entering your game after it started, right? And in matchmaking, this can happen. Even if you get, you know, your game starts, some people could still be loading in matchmaking, right? And so if you don't have this set accordingly, for instance, you have it set to spawn, you're, you know, in a zone wars, the game's going, well, a player might spawn into a storm somewhere, or even if you have these spawn pads, maybe they disable off of a channel or they have nowhere to spawn, they could spawn in the sky anyway, not get weapons. There's a lot of different reasons. So you gotta be mindful on this setting, join in progress. It's pretty simple to do. You can just put to, you know, spawn on next round, and that should take care of it. I have seen some bugs in matchmaking, and this might be fixed. This was, you know, months ago, where players, this would be set, but it wouldn't matter. It would spawn a player into the map, but maybe it would spawn them in the sky. So another thing you want to do is put a clear barrier in the sky. I'll show you guys how to do that. It's really simple and really easy. Shout out to, I think Rhinex is the first person I saw do this. I'm not sure who actually figured this out, but if you go into the dark tilted, there is a particle here, and it actually will hold materials, which is cool. And you can turn this to none, and this won't be seen anymore, and now you have something in the sky that's basically anchored. It's so cool. Then you're just going to want to grab a barrier, make it invisible all, and then just make it 100 100 100, bam. Okay. And then if you don't want to see this little platform in the sky, there you go. You just set this activate game start, yes, and that'll remove it, and you're done. This invisible up here, no one sees anything, but this will stop sky spawning. If someone spawns in the sky, it'll either kill them or it's gonna force join in progress spawn on next round. Next up, we kind of talked about the setting auto start. So this is very important. It's definitely important if a newer creator, you don't have a lot of followers, you kind of got to find a sweet spot here. If you have this set up for matchmaking for 16 players and you have auto start on 90, players are going to wait 90 seconds, and it could just be one of them. It could be 3 of them, and they're going to wait that long to try to queue up and find someone. And guess what? They're going to get bored, and they're going to go somewhere where they can actually know they can play with people. So this is kind of important at first and something you need to consider. That is going to do it. I think I've covered about everything I can think of to do with this matchmaking portal and what it is and how to use it and how to set it up properly. I have just updated my matchmaking hub. I've added a few more maps in here. Also, in every map of mine, you're gonna see a matchmaking portal for that game inside the pregame lobby, so you can queue up with anyone and find some people to play with. It's kind of cool, but again, like I kind of mentioned earlier, it's very new, so you might not queue up with people right away, but just give it some time, keep trying, maybe wait a day or two and it might get even more popular. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. If you don't mind, please hit that like button. I really appreciate it, and also subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. Also, another big help, if you guys would share the map code for this hub, it definitely would help get a little more traction, and make sure you guys queue into some full lobbies. I really appreciate it. I'm Immature Gamer, and I'm out. Hey, you're still here? Thank you so much for watching the whole video. I really appreciate it. If you don't mind, please press that like button. It goes a long way, I'm serious. And while I'm sitting here begging for likes, press that subscribe button. It would really mean the world to me. Alright, I'm really leaving this time. Hope you have a great day.
That's my name.